Hello, hello, hello. Guys, can you hear me? Here we go. Literally.
Hello, guys, can you hear me?
There we go. There we go. We've heard a bit of noise. Guys, we've had an absolute shocker. I was out and about today, came home, found my mic on the floor, and I'm absolutely heartbroken. If any of you sound engineers, a lot of people who deal with a lot of technical stuff, this is a great microphone. If you can let me know in the comment section below what the hell I do about this lead. Do I just get a new one? I think I do at some point. But yeah, if someone could just DM me, let me know what the hell I'm doing with this. That'd be greatly appreciated. But we're here anyway to talk about Leeds United today. I'm gonna have to do apologies once again through the crappy laptop. This is not how I wanted to start this, but unfortunately it is what it is. Hope you're all doing fantastically well. It looks like Leeds United are about to sign Weston Mckennie, which is fantastic news. Fabrizio Romano tweeted out earlier on today that it's pretty much done. I've been told from a couple of sources stateside that the deal is done, signed, sealed, and delivered. Apparently, everything's done. Apparently, so that's why I'm making this video as well, because I've got a bit of confidence in these people. Could be wrong. I'll put that out there, but apparently the deal is done, which is great news. So, yeah, Weston Mckennie looks like he's pretty much signed for Leeds United. We're going to get onto the Accrington game as well. I want to hear your thoughts. Please get it in the comment section below. Your thoughts on the game today. Were you impressed? Who were you impressed with? So yeah, really want to hear what you guys have to say about this one. I thought Jorginho Rutter was very good today, developed into the game. It was great to see Sinisterra back in the mix as well. Thought he really grew into the game. Oh, Bamford was phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal. And I've said on this channel before, I think he's done. I think we're not going to get a succession of games from him anymore. And that was built out of a lot of frustration, to be honest with you, because it's like Bamford gets so close every single time, and there's injuries and injuries and injuries. He's played 6 times. He started 6 times for Marsch in his entire time at Leeds United. We need to start seeing more from Patrick Bamford. But performances like Cardiff, performances like today, listen, he's for me, if there's a choice between Rodrigo and Bamford, and they both fit, it's Bamford every single time. Every single time. I thought he was brilliant today. Link-up play. The team dynamic just improves when he's there. Leeds are terrible at defending. We know that, and that continued. In my thoughts, there was a couple of occasions today where Harvey Rodgers should have put the ball in the back of the net. Accrington had a few chances as well, where if you're not a nigh on bottom of the table League One side, you are converting them. If you're a Premier League side, for example, we can't just rely on Maximilian Verb. The team has to have more connectivity at the back and more assurance and more nous at the back. We are still woeful at the back. And obviously Accrington's goal sort of surmised that with just lazy defending and a poor goal. But it was great to see Firpo getting on the score sheet. As I say, those 3 really impressed me today. Nonto wasn't even featuring today, which is good news for Leeds. Tyler Adams didn't even feature today. We've got a lot of strength going forward, but let's just look at where we are now, and we are, at the minute, it's a position where Leeds have to beat Nottingham Forest still, and I'm still there. We have to beat Nottingham Forest. Great result for us today. Weston Mckennie looks like it's pretty much signed, sealed, delivered, but we need to win against Nottingham Forest. This doesn't take any gloss off anything for me. It was good to see it today. Good day for Leeds, all in all. Getting the victory, getting to the last 16 of the FA Cup. All positive, of course, but there has to be a win. There has to be a win against Nottingham Forest, and I want to hear what you guys think about that one. Linesman as well and referee, absolute joke. Millen Chip says Rodrigo can't pass the ball for Toffee, gave it away too much. Yeah, I don't mind Rodrigo. I think he's done well this season, 100%. But Bamford, you can just see it when he plays for Leeds. His link-up play, his intelligence, the synergy he's got with a lot of Leeds players is just miles ahead of Rodrigo. I said this to Gabe as well. I think Rodrigo, you can't argue with the numbers, but I think Bamford makes us a better team, which I think overall is going to get you more success in the Premier League. You have to be a better team. It can't just be about individuals. But yeah. Rutter was nice to see. Could be a great signing. Verb is still impressing me every time. Him and Koch could be a good pair. More time together, but our right back and left back ain't good. Still need to win in the Premier League. I thought Firpo was all right, to be fair. I thought Firpo was decent again today. We know Firpo has got the right technical ability, but it's just his focus, as I always say, concentration, those buzzwords that always let him down, I think. And But I thought it was good today. Good little finish from him as well. He's getting forward quite a lot, but we need to see a lot more from Firpo. We can't, we saw in pre-season against Blackpool. We've seen against Cardiff, he was decent. We've seen against Accrington, he was decent. We need to start seeing it in the Premier League, against top opposition that he can work there. Evening, Connor. Harrison played well, but clearly against League One opponents. Do you know what Leeds is? I thought he was all right. I thought he was decent. I thought still giving the ball away a lot, which we know with Jack Harrison. Gives the ball away, pulls his shot, so looks up to the ceiling, as we all know. However, got a fantastic goal, brilliant finish. And we know Harrison's got that in his locker. It's just the consistency for me. Why not Leeds sign defenders? Great question. Paul on the show. Hey, mate, Big Paul. I'm not a Bamford fan, but today was class. I agree with you now. Connor, have you seen the Twitter beef that's going on right now? No, I haven't. I've been tagged in a post that said who's the most negative Leeds fan. I got tagged in that from a few snowflakes on Twitter, which is hilarious. But yeah, I don't think I'm negative, to be fair, but some of you might do. But yeah, a lot of snowflakes on Twitter who can't handle an alternate opinion, which I always find funny. I honestly look at my phone and start laughing when I'm tagged in stuff like that. So many snowflakes on Twitter. Nigel Collinson says, now Connor watching live out in Senegal on holiday. Oh, bloody hell, mate. Tell me how that's going. Senegal, never thought to go there on holiday. How's it going? I'm feeling more positive vibe around Leeds, but like you said, must win next week. Forest Ground, at the Forest Ground, yeah. 100%. Forest are doing well at home as well. Leeds have got to go there and win. No bones about it. And what the thing is with Weston Mckennie is now, and I put it out on social media, and someone said, trust you to put a negative spin on it. This is what I said. Hear me out. Now Jesse Marsch has been fully backed in January. We've had probably the best January window we've had in my 30 years on this planet. I said, now it's up to Jesse Marsch to get the results. I then got called negative for a simple tweet saying that he has to prove it now. And this is it. Some people have these blinkers on with Jesse Marsch. I don't know what he's done to these people. I don't know what's been said, but now people are saying that he has to get results because he's been backed. That seemed as, and I've seen it across Twitter. It's not just me who's putting it out there. It's a general consensus that because now, he's been backed, he has to do well. He has to start performing. And there's no excuses anymore. He's got everything. We've spent money. We've got quality in the squad. The defence might still be poor, but every squad in the bottom 10 has poor elements. It might have a poor midfield, might have a poor attack, might have poor defence. You can go through the entire bottom half of the Premier League and there'll be deficiencies there. Leeds' deficiency is the defence. But guess what? Going forward, we're unbelievable. We have unbelievable talent going forward. He has to curate better chances for, because I think this squad ceiling now is massive. I think it's massive. I've got no attachment for Jesse Marsch whatsoever. Like him, nice guy. Don't care. I support Leeds United. I'm not just like wrapped in this Jesse Marsch world that some Leeds fans seem to be wrapped into. I am here for Leeds United to develop and do well. I'm a Leeds fan. I'm not a Jesse Marsch fan. I'm not a Bielsa fan. I'm not all these fans. I'm a Leeds United fan by trade. He has to get the best out of these players now, because when Weston Mckennie comes in, I mean, I'm not saying he'd have been my profile. I've said to you guys multiple times, I wanted Onahi, 100%, and I'll stand by that. However, Weston Mckennie, I'm more than happy with. He's an improvement on what we have right now. Jesse Marsch has to start getting results. I'm still watching it today and I'm thinking it's not great. I'll be honest. I'm still not watching it and I'm thinking, it's great. I'm still thinking against better teams, we get picked apart in certain elements of the game. We won the game. Some people won't like me saying that, but it is what it is. It's Accrington Stanley who were 21st in League One. We needed to get, there's no, it's Accrington Stanley. It really is. Come on, let's put a leveler on it here. Good news. Weston Mckennie signs. Leeds get the 3 points. I wish. Get to the next round of the FA Cup. Last 16. Great news, but we need to start seeing it in the league because league positioning is way more important than an FA Cup. Cheers from LA. Connor wasn't able to catch the match 4:30 a.m. but App said the formation was a 4-1-3-2. Do you think Marsch will run that formation with the first team at full strength as opposed to 4-3-3? Thank you, Ishi, for your donation, my friend. No, I think it's going to be a 4-3-3 issue, especially with Weston coming in. Weston Mckennie comes in. I think they're going to almost replicate what happens with the US national side, where they've got Musa, Tyler Adams, and Mckennie as a midfield three. I think they're going to replicate that, but obviously Musa and Mark Rocker are going to switch up. I think Mckennie's going to be the tip of that 4-3-3. I think we've seen that in possession with Leeds United this season, and I think we're going to start seeing much more of a 4-3-3. And I think that will utilise players like Rutter, Sinistera, and Nonso too. But it's going to be fascinating to see who starts there, because we've got so many options now. You cannot drop Willie Nonto at the minute. So what on earth do you do with Leeds' front line? Mckennie deal goes through intro against Man U. Potentially, Robert. Potentially, mate. Depends on permits and all that good sort of stuff. Let's get behind Jesse and the guys. Yeah, 100%. I agree, Connor. No excuse for Jesse, so let's get behind him until he screws up. What are you doing, Connor? Is putting it all on Mark. Oh, Mark, come on. Mark, please, man, come on. There's got to be some accountability for Jesse Marsch. He has to get this right now. He has to. You're putting it all on Marsch. The players have to do the basics, which has nothing to do with tactics. So many individual errors is far, so far, but the manager has to sort that. The manager, understandably, there are individual errors, but the manager is picking these players. The manager is putting them into systems, strategies, tactical plans. The manager has to alleviate these individual errors as well. Every single Leeds player is not crap. These are good players. There are good players at Leeds United. So if you can't sort out the defensive problems, if you're a manager who has a lot of tactical prowess, sort us out going forward. Make sure we're efficient going forward, because it just seems like it's completely blameless to some fans on Marsch, and I do not understand it. The credit that this guy's got from some Leeds fans is staggering to me. It's staggering. Listen, he needs to start getting results. He's a manager at the end of the day. A manager who's going into a Premier League, he's playing a Premier League club, Leeds United. We have to start picking up wins. Simple as that. Southampton coming up, Everton coming up, Forest coming up. If we are not picking up 7 points minimum, 8 points minimum in those games, are we still blaming individual errors? Every team has individual errors. It's the job of the manager to sort out the tactical imprint to be able to alleviate some of them errors. Whether it means we start playing wider going forward so we create more chances. You know, we're going to concede goals, but we're going to start creating more chances going forward, or whether or not we go to a back five because we can't defend. The manager has to put a tactical imprint into this side to be able to get the best out of this side. We never heard any of these excuses when it came to Bielsa. It was all about improving the player. Marsch is a manager, a coach by trade. He has to improve players as well. And he's been given the tools. He's been given the gifts, the presence, the money to be able to do that. He's now got Weston Mckennie through the door. As I've said before, I don't think Weston Mckennie would have been my number one signing. However, I'm happy with the Weston Mckennie signing. Weston Mckennie has played nearly 100 games for Juventus. Okay. He's a staple in the American national side, a good American midfield. Where is the point with some fans where we're actually going to start saying we're a point above the relegation zone? Marsch needs to start proving it. He's been given the money. He's been given the backing by the 49ers and Radrizzani. Let's start seeing results from the manager as well. Instead of getting, 3-4 wins this season, it needs to, 5 wins, I think it is. We need to start seeing more, however many wins it is in the Premier League. I'm sorry, I don't want to come on here, and it's not Marsch bashing. It is not at all, because I want the guy to do well. No matter however many US men's national team fan accounts come in here and say, I hate Jesse Marsch. It's absolute rubbish, baloney. Like Marsch, want him to do well, okay? But the guy has got to start. We've got to start seeing more. We have. The performance today was we got through. Of course, we started creating chances. Was great, but now we need to start seeing it in the league. Cardiff, great, but guys, it's Cardiff and it's Accrington Stanley. The guy seems to get more credit in the bank with these sort of teams than any other manager would do in Premier League rosters. Come on. Lewis in the building. Hi, mate. You know how much I stick up for him, mate. Ari's setting us up to win and players letting him down, but no longer he has that excuse as the players to rotate if and when necessary. Lewis is right. Lewis is a massive backer of Marsch. Me and Lewis have spoken often about him, and Lewis raises some really good points with regards to Marsch, but he's bang on. He's bang on. Lewis is right. He's got everything now. He's got everything at his disposal. And the point is, everybody, like he's just said, Lewis has just said, we need to have improved on where we were with Bielsa, because the level of investment that we've had right now, we need to improve. So we need to finish 12th, 13th. Then it'll be a success. Then it will be a success. 12th, 13th. And I know it's narrow. I know it's a small point margin, but we get to that point and fine. Marsch has been a success. You can't be a point above the relegation zone and continue that and be in the relegation zone. We haven't yet, but you can't be on that mantra. We've got to get higher because the squad needs to develop. The chairman had an expectation this season of 10th to 14th. For me, we don't finish 10th to 14th this season unless Marsch starts to change it around. We start to see different elements within this side. But yeah. God, man. You also had Kamara over Adams. I did. Yeah, I did. And what? So what? Yeah, we've never seen Kamara in a Leeds United side. We haven't. Kamara could have been unbelievable for Leeds United. Kamara could play 6, can play 8. He's a fantastic midfielder who's applying his trade at Monaco. That could have worked at Leeds United. It could have. Adams has worked. Kamara could have worked as well. Who knows? We'll never know. Ben Reed says, all right, lad, think that maybe Onahi, like Otto said before, could have just been the form of his life in World Cup. Yeah, maybe. Mckennie starts every Juve game, also impressive in the World Cup. When I've seen him, he's been quality. Yeah, Ben, you're right, mate. Ben, honestly, mate, I think it's an improvement. It's a massive improvement on what we've had, okay? I think Onahi replicated a little bit more of what we had with Click in terms of the technical player that Click was. That's all I was saying. That's why I think it would have been better to get Onahi, because it's just a Click replacement, a younger Click. That's what it is there. And when I'm looking at the profiles of what players would fit into this squad, Click, I think a younger Click would have been unbelievable in this Marsch system. That's why I wanted Onahi. Mckennie's a very different profile. However, Weston Mckennie is a development. We all know that. Ryan says, I said at the start, yeah, I do remember you saying this, mate. I said at the start of the season, if you remember, I'd take 17th and definitely would now. Yeah, 100%, mate. I've said that for about 2 seasons running. So, yeah, Jamie, the comment of the week. Yeah, love that comment on the debrief, my friend. Fan has opinion. Yeah, mate. Fan has opinion. You get it. And I can never be wrong. I can never be wrong, apparently. All right, I'm wrong and right, everyone. I'm big enough to understand that, if I get things wrong, I get things wrong. I'm not a pundit. I'm a fan who comes on camera. It is what it is. I think some people expect a little bit too much. Avoiding relegation saves Marsch. Agree with that. It seems like there's a lot of people who are in that boat now with Weston coming in, like Lewis was saying, and there's been a few others who have come in and said the exact same thing, who I know have been very much pro-Marsch. And are now saying that he has to get results. No excuses now. If we don't start getting results, it's down to Marsch. We have quality players. I guess, what more do we need? Do we need an entire new defence? Do we need to get rid of all the defenders, bring in quality players in at the back? I genuinely think there'd still be Leeds fans saying, yeah, but we don't have the right profile in central midfield, so you can't blame Marsch. Guys, there's got to be a point where he starts to get judged. There has to be a point. There's way too many excuses. He has to be judged now, unfortunately. Fortunately. Talk how you talk. Guys, coming from me, it's time. There have been a lot of unjust blame on Jesse. He ain't bigger than the club. Got to raise the bar. 4-3-3, and Mckennie is instantly top 3 in the squad. Yeah, definitely. Connor, most USA fans agree with you. It's just fools shit online that know nothing about the game, that overly defend. Carl, I don't get it, mate. I don't understand it, and I really want him to do well. The defence this guy gets is staggering. It is staggering. Connor, this is in a world where there are very few responsible for their actions. 100%, Connor. This is interesting to see. So it feels like people, and it's not just my opinion, everyone. That's not what I'm saying. It feels like more people are coming around to the thought process that Marsch has to be judged now. You've got to say thank you to the 49ers. You've got to say thank you to Radrizzani, who's facilitated all this. Apparently, he was on the phone to Juve last night for the best part of 6 hours, according to some reports, trying to get them to agree to the deal. They've even gone with an option it's a loan initially and then an option to buy, which I think is very smart, because then it essentially says that if Mckennie isn't the right player for Leeds United, the right profile towards the end, we can cut ties, which I think is fantastic. It's a good bit of business there by Leeds United. So the negotiations have gone well. They've gone very well. So Weston Mckennie coming in, Max Verber, who we all know is a massive improvement on any of the back four, and Rutter, who looked class today. Rutter's class. Rutter, I really, really like him. Really, very good under pressure, very silky, aggressive. He'll take a man on 1v1. He'll work back as well, which I love to see. Rutter's just class. I really, really like what I see with him. Really enthused about him. And this is the thing, everybody. This is what I was talking about 3 years ago. You back the manager, you invest in the squad where is necessary, and you're happy. You're happy as a club. And I know football isn't all about that. I know you can't always have what you want as a football fan. I understand that, but just the basic things which we needed in the summer. I said in the summer, and I've said this millions of times, we needed 9 players, and now we've from the summer to January got around 9 or 10 players, and we've revitalised that squad. So they've done well. They've done well. The board have done well. The 49ers have dipped the hand in the pocket. They're going to buy Leeds in the summer. They've done well. You can't You can't say anything. We can all bitch and moan like I do constantly, but about the profile of player, okay? But is it an improvement on what we've got? Is Verber an improvement on Cooper? 100%. Is Mckennie an improvement on Adam Forshaw? 100%. Is Rutter an improvement on Jack Harrison per se? Yes, he is. So we're improving in every single position. Marsch has to start proving it now. We need to go to Nottingham Forest and beat Nottingham Forest. We need to play Everton at Goodison and beat Everton or draw, whatever. Because I know they're going to have a manager bounce. We need to play Southampton at home and beat Southampton at home. I'm sick of hearing this draw rubbish. Oh, it doesn't matter. He needs it. Give him another week. It doesn't matter. We've seen improvement. No, improvement's not enough anymore. We need to start getting points on the board. Got to love the 49ers enterprises flexing their muscle. Also, Man U back-to-back. Is that normal? No, it's not normal. It's not normal at all. But listen, I'm all for it. I'm all for playing them. I'm just hoping that we can actually, get a win at least. Just one win would be nice, especially in the league. Point away at Scum and then beat them at home. That'd be lovely. They're on a bit of form though, everyone at the minute. So, it's going to be a difficult one. Rutter is a similar elegance to Bamford. I think he's great. I think he's really, really good. Theo, sorry, mate. I've not seen your super chat. I'm too busy ranting. Classic me. Theo, sorry, mate. Evening, Connor. Thanks for everybody's super chat, by the way. Just so you know, everyone, if you super chat the channel, see this? I don't know if you've just come in now, but I invested it in a nice expensive mic with help from the channel to make the production a little bit better. Unfortunately, the mic cable has just snapped. So any contributions you guys make will be invested into the channel so we can get stuff like this repaired. So I really appreciate that. Evening, Connor. Our poor fullbacks mixed with narrow tactics is a recipe for disaster. Our attack is immense, but we won't get results without fixing it. The thing is, Theo, there is so much pressure on the front line to score because we're woeful at the back. And Verber doesn't fix that. Of course, he doesn't fix that. He's not the entire back line. We have deficiencies we have deficiency with Firpo. Christensen, I'm still not wholly impressed by it all. Robin Cott, he's all right, isn't he, at the minute? Robin, he started the season very, very well, but he had a bit of a downturn. Strauch's in bad form. We don't set up to help the defence at all. We don't set up to help the defence at all because we play so narrowly. So yeah, I'm in complete agreement that it's just so difficult when I noticed today a couple of times, and you guys might have done when Mark Rocker got the ball and spread it to Christensen and then was spreading it to Firpo. You could tell he's got so much in his arsenal to be able to help Leeds when it comes to width and progressing up the field, but we just don't utilise it enough. And we've seen it with Jesse's 8 steps, haven't we? Vertical, compact, narrow. That's the way of playing, but it just restricts so many of these quality Leeds players. And we'll see that with like Rutter. We're probably going to see that with maybe Mckennie when he comes in. That just how narrow Leeds are restricts so much of what we could do. But when it comes to defending, I mean, there's just a lot of pressure now on the front men to be able to deliver. Because if they don't deliver, we're going to concede goals. That's not been negative, everyone. We've conceded 5 goals against Accrington and Cardiff combined. 5 goals, so when you're coming up against Premier League quality, I'm sorry, you might not like it, but objectively, we're going to concede an absolute shed ton of goals for the remainder of the season. So it's all just about outscoring the opposition, which puts a lot of pressure on the front men, scoring 2 or 3 goals a game. Now, because there's pressure on the front men scoring 2 or 3 goals per game, why don't we, if you play a little bit more expansively, you're going to have more options, you're going to be able to curate space, you're going to be able to curate chances. So, difficult one, but is what it is, isn't it? No point in moaning about it. Brownie said that Leeds would draw their way to safety. He did say that. Please change the channel name to that. So Leeds, it's perfect. Yeah, you bang on, mate. Debrief reference there. DCat says, "Hey, mate, 7 points from Forest, Everton, Southampton. Maybe nick a draw from one of the man. What a return that would be." And listen, then it's back on the Marsch train, isn't it? Back on the Marsch train. If he's pulling out results like that, objectively, quantitatively, when you see the table, you can't argue with it. Simple. He's getting results. You can't be backing him when he's not getting results. Simple. And the amount of backing I see this guy getting, when he's winning no games barely in the Premier League is staggering. But fair play, it's football subjective, as I say. Sorry if I missed another super chat. I think Leeds Ultras has mentioned it as well. Sorry, mate. It's comments are flying in. I can't see that one, mate. Guys, can we get some likes on the video as well? That'd be amazing. There's 833 of you in the building. I'll obviously stay on if you guys want me to and all this sort of stuff. I can't see that one, mate. Sorry. It's called loyalty. Don't know what that means. I don't know what that is. Is that to do with Marsch, maybe? Darren Evans says centre-backs, Koch and Verba looking okay to me. They are. Obviously, Koch's not going to be available for the Forest game, which is such a massive game. So what the Leeds do then, is it bomb scared? Does bomb scared Llorente come in? God. Hopefully Cooper might be available for that one, but then you've got two left-footed centre-backs. Is there going to be a balance to the back two then if you've got that? If Leeds are going to be playing out from the back and you have two left-footers at centre-back. Connor, what's your view on the FA Cup? Personally, I love a great cup run. It's been a long time coming for Leeds. For me, you have the squad depth now. Yeah, I agree, Sean. We've got the squad depth. You look at the front three that we could have available. What? Sinisterra, Somerville, Nonto, Rodrigo, Rutter. You've got Perkins there, who I think could feature in a lot of cup competitions as well. There's two or three more I'm not listing off there. I know I'm not. I'm just going off the top of my dome there. But and that's going forward. And then the midfield. I mean, what I'd like to talk about is Greenwood as well. I know someone's flashed it out. There's no way. Can we stop this Sam Greenwood experiment? I don't know what Marsch sees in Sam Greenwood in midfield. There's not going to be any sort of light moment where it's like we all turn around and say Sam Greenwood is what an unbelievable midfielder. What credit to Jesse Marsch for playing him in midfield. He's not a midfielder, and he's literally Sam Greenwood's retention of the ball is poor. I'm not having him in this Leeds setup because he can take free kicks and take corners, which I'm sorry, but today 3 of the corners hit the front man anyway. That needs to stop. That experiment has to stop. Sam Greenwood in midfield will never work, and it isn't working. Poor on the ball, poor decision-making, poor choices, not great in the tackle, not physically imposing. It's not working. It doesn't work. And I don't understand why he's pursuing with that. Mark Rocker and Tyler Adams obviously are the alternatives in there. But let's see Darko JB. Please, can we see Darko JB above Sam Greenwood in midfield? Please. I'm not blaming Sam. Not blaming Sam because it's not his fault. But is he good enough striker for Leeds United? At the minute, no. He's not getting ahead of Bamford and Rodrigo. Is he good enough in midfield? No, he's not a midfielder. He's not a midfielder. A midfielder and a striker are two completely separate positions. A midfielder for me, it's the most important position on the pitch. Midfield games won and lost in midfield, and I don't think he's anywhere near it. For just a basic central player, I think he's championship standard. Bottom championship standard in midfield. Maybe as a striker, he'd be top championship standard. I'm not 100% sure, but there's no way that is working. And that needs to stop. Let's push Darko up. Darko looked great. Press resistant, good on the ball, strong, physically imposing, good decision making against Cardiff. I thought waned a little bit towards the end, but he's better than Sam Greenwood. What is this? What are we continuing with him in the midfield? It's weird. I don't understand it. Are you expecting any other signings, mate? I don't know. It's just Mckennie that Leeds Ultras. I think that's Michael, isn't it, mate? Yeah. He needs to warn the bench, Connor. He needs a loan, Nathan. That's what he needs. Another. If we're sending Gelhardt on loan, I guarantee you send Greenwood out on loan in the Championship in midfield. I think he'd struggle a little bit. I do. I really, really do. Set pieces won us points. Has he? Set pieces won us point. He's got an assist or two, but is that a reason to put him in central midfield continuously? Not for me. When you've actually got a central midfielder baller who we got off Manchester City, who is a very, very proficient player there. Not for me. And in a lot of games as well, for me, he's conceding a lot of chances because he's giving the ball away so much. So there's a counterpoint to that for me, Jonathan. Benjio, Way, I made it on a live. How you, mate? Oh, you good? The two left-footed centre-back is a myth. Brian, well, fair play, Brian. Fair play. I think it was, who did we see? Was it McQueen and Hunter back in the 70s? Well, I didn't see it anyway. Was told all about that, but I know the game has developed a little bit. If you're passing out from the back and you're a left footer on the right side of a centre-back partnership and you're under pressure and Melee's played you the ball, you've got the ball at your feet, there's only one way you're going to play. And the opposition are going to start learning that, aren't they, throughout the game? If you're a left-footed right centre-back, you're not going to be able to open your body up as much. You're going to go to your right back all the time, or your right winger. The opposition are going to start to understand that and press you in those positions. So I think you do have to have a little bit of a balance between a left-footed centre-back and a right-footed centre-back. I think between those two, there has to be a little bit more of a balance. To be honest, I think two left-footed centre-backs in the modern game is a little bit risky, especially if you're trying to play out from the back. Lewis says, check my recent tweet, mate. I'd like to know your thoughts. I'll have a gander, mate. Let me check. Let's have a look. What's Lewis said? And there he is. Lewis, has your account been deleted? I'm so confused. Lewis has got about 19 accounts. There we go. It's on your main account as well. Yeah, mate, I think we've said the same. Damned if he does, damned if he doesn't. Too much needed wins that will instill belief into a growing squad. Of first time in the 5th round in 6 years, having been knocked out by Sutton, Newport, QPR and Crawley in that time. Yeah, I agree, mate, in terms of the FA Cup. He's done well, of course. Of course he has. And listen, we're through. I think the thing is, Lewis, with me is just, and I think Lewis is referring there. I might be on the wrong tweet there, mate, but I'm going to waffle on about it anyway. Basically, obviously, the run of results that Leeds have had in the Cup is absolutely shocking. So he's done well today, of course he has. But, you know, I think the credit he gets from these Cardiff results, obviously the new signings coming in, which is very, very positive, and the result today almost covers the problems that Leeds are having now. Papers over the cracks, if you will. So for me, yeah, he needs to start picking up points in the league. But he's done well today. You know, we beat Accrington Stanley. That's a banana skin for Leeds United. We all know that. Connie, you sound like these average footballers now. Sky pundits just putting everyone down. Not William, set yourself a channel up, mate. Sounds like you've got it all locked in, mate. Just yeah, Greenwood's amazing, everyone's amazing, everything's amazing. Set your own channel up, mate. I doubt he would get a game, Connor. Yeah, Max Verber can take set pieces better than Greenwood. Plus, Greenwood can't get the ball over the first man. I just don't understand it, mate. Don't understand it. But it is what it is. I'm not hammering Greenwood. It's not his fault. It's not his fault. Marsch is shoehorning him into a position which is alien, and you can tell when he's playing football in that position, he's just nowhere near it. The midfield is the engine. Central midfield is the engine of any football side. And you've got to be, you're under pressure consistently, especially when you're playing a narrow, compact system, and the opposition team are flooding the midfield with players because they know Marsch plays like that. So you just add bodies in there. You add bodies in there. That's what you do to counteract it. And Greenwood struggles with that massively. Reina next, yeah, hopefully, man. Hopefully, Reina. I wouldn't mind Reina, to be fair. Yeah, send me it, Lewis. I knew I was going on about the wrong one, mate. You've got about 4 accounts, so I've no idea. Green was signed as a striker for the under-21s, and gradually moved him back into the team. Now he doesn't have a position. Yeah, I think he just needs a loan. I don't think he needs a loan, to be honest with you. I know, Nathan, I'm not saying he's in the right position, mate, but does he get in as a striker? He doesn't, does he? Carl says, Connor, there are some Korean football fans that think Son is great no matter how bad his season is. Similar for some Marsch and some Americans, their loyalty isn't to Leeds and need to learn to ignore that. The thing is, Carl, people always tell me that to ignore these fans, but I don't want to ignore fans. That's why I do the fan phone-ins. I might disagree with what some of the fans say, but and which I do, which is fine. It's subjective, isn't it? But if you're being unreasonable, from my perspective, I'll call you out. And I expect to be called out as well if I'm being unreasonable. But I don't want to ignore fans' opinions. I don't want to ignore anybody's opinions, even if it's critical of me, because I think football is a game of opinions. So I want to read your stuff out. Of course I do. Even if it's, you know, disagreeing with me, whatever. Hence, like I've said 1,000,001 times, that's why I do the fan phone-ins, and you don't see that anywhere else, really. Con, do you think Mckennie will make a difference? I do. Ashley, I do think he'll be I do think he's going to improve the side. I do think he's going to improve the midfield options and the balance. And do you know what as well, Ashley? We keep going on about defending. If you get the midfield right, the midfield aids the defence, obviously, because you're a unit, you're a defensive unit as well. And if you've got players like Rutter, out on the wing defending properly, I think sometimes from those front spaces, we don't get enough defending. But I think if you're defending with a unit, and Mckennie's got real synergy with Adams, cohesiveness with Adams, and maybe even Aronson, if Aronson's starting week in, week out, I think Mckennie will make a difference at the back as well, in terms of just that overall unit working well together. So I think that's going to be beneficial for us. And he gets goals. He gets goals. He's good in the air. So he'll score from corners. I don't think he's not the second coming, but he's a good player. And he's played nearly 100 games for Juventus, so that you can't turn your nose up at that one. D says, I love the debrief the other day. Great to see everyone laugh. Yeah, it was. What rating out of 10 do you give our January transfer window, assuming Mckennie happens? 8 or 9. We spent loads of money, and we've spent so much money, and it's the best January window in my time as a Leeds United fan. And it was a good summer. It's a good summer. We didn't get enough done in the summer, but we've now done that in January. It's perfect. So my projection for this team right now is comfortably avoiding relegation. Comfortably. Not even in the conversation. I mean, Marsch has even said it. He said, when he was asked about relegation, we're not even halfway through the season yet. So if that's the thought process, the owner knows where we should finish. The 49ers have now invested a hell of a lot of money. We should be easily moving up, not easily, because that's not football, but we should be moving away swimmingly, picking up results, and that is the expectation every single fan should have. We should be going into the Forest game saying we're going to win this game. We should be going into the Southampton game saying we are going to win this game. The Everton game, we're going to get a result here. It might not be a win, might be a draw, whatever. That's what I think it's going to be, because I think Dyche is going to come in, steady them up a little bit, and it's going to be a tougher game than it maybe would have been under Lampard. However, as a Leeds United fan, with the investment we've had in this January, not many bottom clubs are investing like that, everybody. Look at the bottom 10 in the Premier League right now, aside from Bournemouth, maybe. I can't remember how much Forest have spent. But aside from that, look at the expenditure of every bottom 10 club. Leeds have been backed more than a lot of teams. So there is no excuse. So I would give it an 8 or 9 out of 10. So fair play to the board. Fair play. Jalen, hey mate, finally catching a live stream. Wanted to see the American audience potential for Leeds. It's real. I'm American. I started watching Leeds after the World Cup. Big Adam support here. Yeah, Jalen, great. And obviously Mckennie, and obviously Chris Armour's there now. Jesse Marsch, Brendan Aronson. I think I mentioned Tyler Adams obviously already, haven't I? But yeah, Ashley says, agree, Connor, mate. If we can get the midfield link with the attackers, goals will come. Agree, Connor. Jesse needs to piss off or get off the pot. But do you know what the thing is, everyone? And we've been having this chat as well in our little group chat, my little Leeds group chat. The 49ers will want Jesse to do well. Let's think logistically. Okay, we are trying to branch out, evidently, to an American audience right now, which is smart, because 350 million people out there, football is becoming huge. They've got the 2026 World Cup. Jesse Marsch is probably one of the more successful managers coming out of America. Tyler Adams is the USA captain. Mckennie is one of the star boys of the American side. Brendan Aronson, the Medford Messi is becoming a big name in America. All of these things are working to Leeds' advantage when it comes to marketing and advertising their brand to a US audience. The 49ers are in charge. As I've just mentioned, Chris Armour has come in to help Jesse Marsch. The 49ers are a huge franchise in the States, okay? If Jesse Marsch isn't picking up results, the 49ers will bin him off 100%. They are smart businessmen. They're all in with Jesse Marsch. We've seen that with the RB signings, with a lot of the American signings. They backed him fully. But if they get to a point in late February, March, where he is not picking up results, they are business owners. They will be ruthless American business owners who want results because of their investment. They want their investment to develop and improve, and they want their asset to become a more financially, lucrative one. They will bin him off. So best believe, even I've said it earlier on, but I didn't expect this back in January. I said this pre-January. I thought Marsch would be here for the long haul, no matter what. If he doesn't start getting results ASAP, I genuinely believe they've got a target in their head of how many points they want. Because it's not just Rads now, they are fully in the 49ers. We've seen that with this January. Marsch's head is on the chopping board if he doesn't get results, and I think he knows that. I really do. Hence why every performance he's coming out and saying there's been improvement. We're getting, if you notice, Jesse Marsch has started saying stuff very, very recently of the ilk of it's getting close to what I want now. These are the results. It's almost like a message to the board as well. He's saying to the board, look, give me a little bit more time. I'm getting close now. I'm getting close. We're getting close to it clicking. He knows exactly what's coming if the results don't start to. They will target a big boy and play top 100%, mate. I genuinely believe that there are a lot of people now who believe that just because of this Americanization of Leeds United at the minute, which I think is a really good thing, Leeds will, the 49ers would not bin him off. They will bin him off. If he's not getting results, they will. I'd be stunned if the 49ers were just thinking, do you know what? We like Jesse Marsch. He's American, so we'll just keep him along. That's ludicrous business acumen. The 49ers, 100% will. Talks in the building saying 100%. Marsch being given a whole new midfield. Yeah, that's it. You look at the summer. Mark Rocker, love Rocker. Can't understand the slander for him at all. Weston Mckennie, who high-profile American player, as I've said multiple times, 100 appearances for Juve. Before, when Schalke were a decent team as well, Mckennie was anchoring that midfield as well. And then you've got Tyler Adams, the US captain. Come on, everybody. Let's be realistic here. This guy is being backed to the hill. So, PRM's not wrong. Not wrong at all. So, huge pressure on him now. Definitely. I think it's definitely gone up a little bit. Connie missed the super chat. I'm sorry if I have, everyone. I don't mean to. Tactical manager, hi mate. Filippo as well. We're going to get him back on the channel. How long till Lee starts singing the Star Spangled Banner? Listen, none of that. But it's getting that way now, isn't it? Get Rayner in. Get Berhalter in as the cheerleader. Who else can we get in? I'm trying to think of any more Americans. Dest, would I take Dest? No, wouldn't take Dest. So I think Rayner maybe that's for the extent of it. Why are you surrounded by doors, mate? I don't know. Just am. I'm in a cupboard. American players bring in 100 times more investment than a manager. Yeah, exactly. The manager is much more. You can 100% get rid of the manager over the players. The players are the litmus flame, really, aren't they? Problem is sometimes results could be worse with Marsch, but financially it makes sense, so they keep him. The priority is money for them. I guess that goes in tandem to the other comment, Filippo. I think the players are way more important to marketing than Jesse Marsch. They're younger, they're football players. A manager, of course, can be a staple of a marketing campaign, but I'd be stunned if the 49ers if we were 19th in March, which is it's 100% plausible, by the way, especially with the run we're on at the minute, 19th, and they're seeing no improvement. There's no way they're just going to keep him along. No way. Connor, if Marsch gets sacked right now, you'll get bombarded with you never wanted him anyway. Has to get exactly, mate. You're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. Exactly what Lewis said in his tweet not long ago. As content creators, mate, you can't get it right because, like an example, someone mentioned earlier on. I got it earlier on, didn't I? Because I said I wanted Kamara as a player over Tyler Adams because he was more complete midfielder, which I still would say he can play multiple positions. I think he's a very good player. We've not seen him at Leeds. He could have been unbelievable at Leeds United, but because I said that, you'll still get weirdos in the chat months and years later coming back and saying, but you wanted this. Like, it's nuts. People hang on to anything you say as content creators, mate. So we're used to it. But listen, it is what it is. Connor, is your office at the top of the stairs? It is, mate. Yeah. Tok says nearly 10 out of 10 people in the States have no idea who Jesse is. Then yeah, Pulisic, obviously. Well, Pulisic is he's the poster boy, isn't he? Yeah, and exactly. It'd be so interesting, and that's where it's fascinating to see like what Tok says and Filippo and Gabe and all the Americans in the chat, because Marsch probably isn't as popular as we think he is in the US of A. Al says, not all problems root from Jesse. Looking back at the season, don't forget the missed goals or 0 breaks from refs. I'd agree, Al, but I think we've been lucky in games as well, mate. We have been lucky, and system-wise, a lot of the chances that have been put up against Leeds United have come from out wide. They really have. We've been counter-attacking transition multiple times. They should have considered. I mean, look at today. We had a corner, didn't we, at 1-0 up, and Accrington countered on us through transition. And they should have scored, And what I'm trying to say is, people do say we've been unlucky, but we've also been lucky the other way. Bournemouth, let's be honest, when we play Bournemouth at home, that first half, Bournemouth should have been 4 or 5 up. Kiefer Moore missed an absolute sitter, missed another sitter as well in about the 30th minute. Fulham should have been 6-0 up at half time. Let's be brutally honest. So we've been lucky. We've been unlucky 100% going forward, but we've also been lucky to get away with all. Forget at the start of the season, the amount of saves Elan Melier was making to keep us in games, 1v1s, when they bypass our defence and our press, So, yeah, it works both ways, mate, I think. Underlines are good. 12th in XG differential. I don't think you sack the manager for that. It doesn't matter about XG, mate. It doesn't matter. It's results on the pitch, XG threat, all this sort of stuff. I don't think as an investment model, when you spend nearly 80 million quid in January, and overall you spend around about however much Leeds have done in the past 12 months, which is probably in and around 150, 60 million plus. They're not just going to be looking at XG differential. They're going to be looking at where Leeds are in the table. If Leeds are staring relegation in the face in 2 or 3 weeks' time, best believe the board are not going to be thinking, well, do you know what? XG threat and XG differential puts us in from 10 to 14, so we'll stick with him. They're not going to be thinking that. They're going to be thinking we want money back on our investment. And to get money back on our investment, we need to be in the Premier League. Leeds are not going to be a massive staple in America in the Championship. That's how you've all got to see it. In the Championship, we are not going to be attractive to any American fans, because the Championship is a league which is the second tier of English football. It's not got as much TV exposure. I know we all called it Sky Sports Leeds in the Championship, but Leeds are going to be on TV, a quarter of the amount that they are right now. So quite right with what you're saying. Hopefully that's where we're going to start, seeing a little bit of improvements. But if we're not proving that on the pitch, like we've been in this differential for the entire season, we've been putting out a lot of goals, and the data actually backs Leeds as a really decent performing side. But look where we are, we're a point above the relegation zone. So, we've got to stay above that parapet. But, with the investment now, we've got to be well clear of that parapet, surely. Connor, if unfortunately it doesn't work out for Jesse, who would you like to see as manager? Oh, God, mate. Do you know what, Fraser? I'd need a little bit of time, mate. And do you know what, Fraser? If I said a name now, I'd get absolutely smashed for it. So I've got to go away and have a think there, mate. But do you know what, Fraser? Just because if you don't think Jesse Marsch is the right man for the job, you can call that without having a replacement in mind, mate, because that ain't my job. Jalen says, again, American here, like Jesse, a lot care more about the players. But yeah, they do, mate. I mean, the players are the marketable ones, aren't they? A manager is, managers are not in jobs now for longer than 8 months on average. So the players can be at teams for 5, 6, 7, their entire career, can't they? So they're much more marketable to a club. Chris Gary says, Weston is a game changer for Leeds. He could play next to Adams, play the 10, play right mid, and even lead to a formation change. If I'm a Leeds fan, I'm very happy today. Wes is really good. Yeah, great comment, man. You've seen the video of Pep talking about playing down the middle. I have, but yeah, I have, yeah, which is good. Connie, you reckon Jesse will be sat at home Monday night planning for the road trip? Whoever getting the FA Cup should be a superstition now. Yeah, it's good. Well, I think it's going to be the scum, isn't it? I think if they beat Reading tonight, I think it's us and them, isn't it? That's where I disagree. I don't see it as lucky with the goals scored. We've worked and fought for goals. I can think of many easy goals blown from Bamford. Give Leeds some. I'm giving Leeds credit, Al, but I'm saying you can't just say we've been unlucky, because the other way. Come on, the amount of chances we give up per game. Look at today. Look at today. Harvey Rodgers, the centre-back, who's a Leeds fan, Rapids to Stanley, should have had 2 goals easily. So I'm saying it works both ways. You can't just have a narrative of we've been unlucky. Other teams have been very unlucky against Leeds United as well. Look at the Man City game as a clear example. Man City in that game should have had 10 goals. They should have had 10 goals. Haaland didn't have his shooting boots on whatsoever. De Bruyne was extremely poor when it came to certain situations, and Melee was unbelievable as a shot stopper. Teams have been unlucky against Leeds. Listen, it's not nice to admit that. I understand as a Leeds United fan, it does bruise our ego. Of course it does, but we've got to be, when you come to this channel, I try to be as real as I can with you. We've been unlucky, but we've also been lucky, 100%. And I'm sure the numbers have backed that up as well. Right, guys, how I've been going for an hour. My God, how time flies. Guys, I'm going to leave it. I really am. This was supposed to just be a like 10-minute video. Thank you so much for joining. I really appreciate it. There's like 920 of you I can see on the chat here. If you don't mind liking the video, that would be amazing. Please subscribe. If you disagree, don't get offended. If you agree, make sure you subscribe if you want some more content like this. American fans, welcome. I'm sure we're going to see more of you now. Mckennie's signed. I'm going to go and get a new microphone because this one has annoyingly snapped. So thank you so much for your donations. Really appreciate it, guys. Make sure, as I've said, you like, comment, and subscribe. Have a good one. And yeah, Leeds are through to the last 16. Great news. I'll see you in a bit. Cheers.